Hey there, it's Lara here with Witchy Wednesday for the week of February 21st to 28th, 2018. So, before I get started on the video for this week, I just wanted to announce the winner of a free Taste of Astrology reading. So, I ran this contest for my email subscribers, and the winner that I announced today was Angela J. And so, Angela, if you happen to be watching this, then look for an email from me, okay, later today. Congratulations. And if you're not a subscriber, an email subscriber, and you're interested, sometimes I run these contests for subscribers only. So you can head on over to my website. You can just click the link below here, and you can subscribe to my email list, and then you'll have a chance to win the next time that I do one of these draws. And if if you're interested in getting a reading with me, then same thing, just click on the link below and you head over to the services page of my site and you can see what's on offer there and see if anything piques your interest. But thank you so much for being here for these Witchy Wednesday videos. I'm getting great feedback from people. I would love it if people would do more sort of commenting in the comment section rather than messaging me privately, just because it shows, sometimes you have a question that other people have, and so that can be helpful for them. Or, it just kind of lets people know that they're not the only one who are interested in this kind of thing and are curious about it too. So, that would be really awesome. If you like the videos, like them and comment and subscribe to the channel. All of that stuff is really helpful in letting me get the word out and lets me know that what I'm doing here is resonating with people. Okay, so thank you. So yesterday I did a little sort of Facebook teaser post about the energies that we're dealing with over the next week or so. So, and it's all about Pisces, really. There's a big old party going on in Pisces right now. There are, I think, 5 planets and a major asteroid in Pisces right now. So that's a lot of Piscean energy. And that's not comfortable for everyone. It's comfortable for me because I happen to be a Pisces sun sign. And so I'm kind of used to this. And, you know, people that have a lot of mutable energy in their chart, changeable kind of go with the flow energy, will probably have a little bit of an easier time dealing with the energy that's you know around us right now. So and if you're if you're curious about what that means, mutable energy, each of the zodiac signs is associated with one of the 3 modes. So mutable, fixed, and cardinal, right? And so mutable energy is the energy that's very changeable and adaptable, and go with the flow kind of thing. So I talk about that when I do readings for people. So, if you ever get a reading with me, then I take a look at not only the modes in your chart, but the elements like fire, water, earth, air. And I talk to you about how those are balanced or not in your chart and that kind of thing. So, we are in a mutable time right now. We are also in, sort of a very watery time, with all this Piscean energy. And we are moving towards a full moon in Virgo. That's not happening until March 2nd, which is after the next Witchy Wednesday video. So I'm not going to talk too much about it here, but it does factor in, because we're heading there. And as I said in my Facebook post yesterday, the sort of astrological medicine for too much of one thing is a dose of its opposite, right? So Pisces and Virgo are opposite in the zodiac, and they are opposite signs sort of carry the medicine for each other. They are complementary, actually. And so The opposite of Pisces is Virgo. And so with all of this Pisces energy that we're having right now, it's good to sort of look towards the qualities of Virgo to help balance that out, right? Virgo is an earth sign. So some grounding, anything we can do to help ground ourselves and help ourselves feel a little bit more connected to the earthly plane, sort of thing, is helpful right now. Also, Virgo is about purification too, and so anything we can do to that end is also helpful. Anything we can do to purify our diets, what we're putting in our bodies, our routines, our time schedules, our physical space, decluttering, right? Spring cleaning time is here pretty much. To purify our minds, right? Get rid of any beliefs and thoughts and those kinds of things that are not really serving us, right? Virgo is also about discernment. So, being selective about what we choose to allow in to our space, physically, mentally, emotionally, all of those kinds of things, right? It's being discerning with the information. And so right now, with all this Piscean energy happening, it can be helpful to sort of, look to those Virgo qualities to help us navigate this energy. And so I'm going to show you the chart for today. I like to do that just to give you an idea, of what an astrological birth chart looks like. So this is the chart for today. You can draw up a chart for anything, really. But this is what the chart for today looks like. And so you can see here, right? Again, I mentioned this when I do readings for people, but the circle is divided into little pieces of pie kind of thing, 12 pieces of pie. And those are called houses in astrology. And each house is responsible or resonates with a different sort of life theme or life area. And these will all be in different spots depending on your specific birth time, date, and location of birth. So this is the chart I drew up for today where I live. And so this just shows where the planets are currently. And so if you see all of this cluster of planets right up here, these are all in Pisces, right? Not this one, but all of these ones are. So we've got the sun in Pisces. Happy birthday, Pisces. We've got Mercury in Pisces. We've got Venus in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces, and Chiron in Pisces. And also not shown here, there is an asteroid called Juno, which is also in Pisces. But you can see that big old pile up there, right? That's going on in Pisces. And so Piscean energy is very, as well, I already told you, it's very mutable. So very adaptable. Pisces is the sign of the two fish swimming in opposite directions, right? So there can be a duality to this sign, and there can be a sense of sort of just kind of going with the flow, not really knowing what direction, because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. And so it is like the culmination of all the other signs, or the blending or the union or the merging of all of the other signs of the zodiac. So it can be a little complicated. It can be difficult to understand because it's this big, ocean of everything kind of thing. And it can be hard to pin down Pisces energy. So Pisces energy, just to sort of give you some key words to attach to it. It's mystical. It can be elusive. It can be very about creativity, spirituality, a connection or a union with something greater than ourselves. Pisces is sort of like, between the worlds, right? So we've come full circle, and it's sort of that space between the end and whatever comes next. And Pisces can be, very dreamy, um, very compassionate, um, and then on the flip side, again, I was talking about this in my Facebook post yesterday, and you can go over to my Facebook page and check that post out if you want to take a look at it. But as with everything, right, there is an opposite. There's a yin and a yang, a positive and a negative to everything. And so sort of like the lower vibrational qualities of Pisces would be things like illusion and martyrdom, deception, addiction, um, and having no boundaries, right? Is also very Piscean. So sort of not knowing where you begin and the rest of the world or the other person, or where you end and where the other person begins, kind of thing. So that can be challenging. And there can be right now sort of this sense of like something bigger, and we just came through these eclipses right recently, and so maybe you sort of caught a glimpse of something bigger, or some shifts happened for you, and you're still kind of lost in this sort of foggy place, right, where it's like, okay, well, what next, what did that mean? I'm getting this sense that things are shifting and changing, but I don't really, it feels like there's no real solid ground and no real direction. And so that's perfectly okay because that's where we're at right now. And part of what we need to do right now is to trust the process. Pisces has a lot of faith. If Pisces is sort of running at the optimal level, right? If Pisces is in the high vibration, Pisces has a lot of faith. And so it's important for us to have faith right now. And when I say have faith, I don't necessarily mean it in the religious sense. I mean, trust the process. Trust that there is a greater plan at work. Trust that, trust your soul guidance, trust your inner wisdom. Trust the messages that you're getting that may seem a little kind of out there. And we have synchronicities and things happen to us, and oftentimes, especially if we're skeptics, and I'm a fan. I say this all the time. I'm a fan of healthy skepticism. I don't think that you should just believe everything you're told. You shouldn't buy into things just because somebody says them. It's important to kind of investigate for yourself. I believe that. But having said that, I think that it's important right now to trust the process, trust the grander plan, and to trust those messages and synchronicities that are happening for you right now. Just try not to be too impatient. Patience is a key word right now as well, right? Because it can feel a little bit like, what is going on, right? This Piscean, all this Piscean energy can be a little bit confusing, really. It can be magical, and it can be confusing. And so, just be patient. Now, we do have some aspects coming up here. We're going to have eventually, I can't remember what day it is, but Venus is going to be squaring Mars. Mars in Sagittarius. And Mars is the planet of action, right? And initiation and that kind of thing. And so I think that, later on in the week we may get a little more clarity, or it will be more time to act on our visions and our intuitions, and things will start to gradually over time get a little more clear for us in terms of direction, right? What else here? So I'm not gonna go too far into the aspects this week, but just there are all these planets aligned in Pisces, and so there can be some, as I said, some confusion with our thinking, and about sort of maybe sort of what lights us up and who lights us up, that kind of thing, can be going on right now. And there can also be a little bit of tension happening between, and this is an ongoing theme for us, and I've mentioned it a few times, and I did a whole video sort of with that as a theme, but some tension between the masculine and the feminine, right? Between Mars and Venus is continuing to play out. And so just be mindful of that, right? And mindful of, how you're communicating, and your approach to things, that kind of thing. There, try to have a balance of those two energies. And again, I'll remind you that when we talk about the masculine and the feminine, we don't necessarily just mean men and women, right? Every person has masculine and feminine energies inside of them. And so could there be issues playing out in terms of, relationships, masculine and feminine? And we see that on the world stage happening, right? The imbalance there that I've mentioned many times before. However, this can also be something internal, right? It's sort of like, are your masculine and feminine energies out of whack? Are they out of balance? Are you needing more drive, more assertiveness, more standing up for yourself? That kind of thing? Or are you needing to be a little bit more gentle and receptive, and nurturing towards yourself and others, right? So only you can know that and decide for yourself. But I'm going to move on right now, I think, to bring the card for the week into the discussion, because this seems like a good time. And so this week I chose from The Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan, or Duggan. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. But this is the Eight of Cups reversed. I'm going to turn it upright so that you can see more clearly the picture. Okay, so, but it did come up in reverse for us. So, to me, this is sort of, saying to us, it is a very it can be a very sort of ethereal, maybe even sort of foggy, unclear time right now with all this Piscean energy, a very mystical time, right? And again, I'm going to turn this up so you can see it upright, but you can see that this has a feeling of being very sort of mystical, but also powerful, right? There's the ocean there. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, god of the sea, also ruled by Jupiter. And cups is the element of water. Pisces is a water sign. So what this is saying to me is that it's important right now to not get caught up in the illusion of things, those negative qualities of Pisces, to not kind of get stuck in just like, Pisces, well, I don't think I used this word yet, and it's really important. One of the things that Pisces is really good at is escapism, right? Of any kind. And so sometimes that's okay. It's healthy. Sometimes we need to escape from, the real world. But there are healthy escapes and there are not so healthy escapes, right? And it's important not to stay in that escapist mode. And so, sort of allow this time to just kind of chill and let things unfold. And like I said, be patient and trust the process. Be compassionate with yourself and with others. Um, dream the dreams and all of that, but don't get stuck there. Eventually there will be, in the not too distant future, time for action and moving forward and coming out of the fog and using all of that beautiful Piscean energy and magic, right? To do something practical. And I've said this to you before, and I think I'll sort of end on this note, that Virgo medicine for Pisces, right, is the practical. It's doing things in the practical world. And I happen to be a Pisces sun with a Virgo rising sign. And so this is sort of my whole life, right? This balance. It's practical magic. And so, I can go one way or the other. I can be super Virgo or super Pisces, and it's part of my life's work to really try to walk the middle ground there, and hopefully, bring that to you in some way as well, and allow you to see that, there can be a balance between these two seemingly very different worlds, right? The spiritual and the material kind of thing. So, once again, for you to know specifically how this will impact you, it would be good to know where Pisces is in your specific chart. These readings always talk about the general energies affecting all of us. But if you look at your birth chart, right, and I always give people a copy of their own birth chart when I do readings for them. You can see whatever house Pisces falls in for you will be where all of this Piscean energy is happening. Again, for me, it's in Pisces. I have Pisces in my 7th house. And so that's my house of relationships. And so that's where I'll feel a lot of this energy, right? And so for you, that depends on where that is in your chart. And again, that's when we have your birth time and your birth date and your place of birth, we can draw up a chart and then we can see all these things. And on that note, I've had a few people ask me if it's essential to have a birth time to do a birth chart. And here's the answer. It makes it the most accurate by far if you can have an exact birth time. If you can have a pretty good idea within 15 minutes, half an hour, it's quite accurate. I only had my exact birth time. I only found it this year because we were going through boxes and, we found the card from the hospital when I was born and it had my birth time on it. And so before that, it was sort of a guesstimate, based on what my mom had remembered. And so, but I was pretty close. I was within about 20 minutes, and that's the time that I had been using. And when I found my exact birth time, I did my chart using that, and nothing changed for me. And so, having a birth time is important. But having said that, if you don't have a birth time, we can still do a chart reading. And you just don't get as sort of robust information, but there's definitely still some really good, useful information that we can glean from a birth chart. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope that was helpful. I felt like it was a little bit Piscean, kind of all over the map, but that's what we're dealing with this week. And I will talk to you again next Wednesday for sure. Okay, take care. Have a great week. Bye-bye.